it has emerged that the United States troops in Niger are currently stuck in limbo and confusion, courtesy of the uncertainties and lack of clarity surrounding the Niger military junta's cancellation of the agreements that legalize their presence in the Sahel country, but they might never leave Niger territory anytime soon, the way the international community is eagerly waiting to see them do. The troops, which have so far consolidated their presence in Niger and regrouped into one unit at Agadez Air Base, that is according to a March 21, 2024 update from Pentagon, are in a situation where they are stuck between leaving the country and continuing with their stay, the same being a situation that is making them appear desperate in the eyes of junta sympathizers. We say this because, according to the Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs, in the Office of the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Dr. Celeste Wallander, the troops cannot leave Niger at the moment because the Niger junta has not made an official request for them to leave, and at the same time, they cannot assist Niger in its counter-terror activities because the agreements giving them the legality to do so were cancelled on March 16, 2024. While appearing before the U.S. Senate Committee on Armed Forces on the Thursday of March 21, 2024, Dr. Wallander said that the U.S. is still seeking clarification on whether the cancellation of the agreements by the junta meant that the troops should leave Niger territory with immediate effect, or if it meant that the Americans should sit down with the CNSP and sign new agreements that will legalize the U.S. military's presence in the country. She also added that the troops' continued stay in Niger is what the Americans want, but if the same will demand that they sit down with the military junta and enter into fresh agreements with General Abdourahmane Chiani and his men, then the U.S. should rather consider leaving or demand for the installation of a democratic government in Niger before any agreements being signed, because military juntas are unreliable security partners. And before we proceed, take a listen at what she said on Niger here.
I would like to clarify that at this point, the CNSP, the self-identified government of Niger, has not asked or demanded that the United States military depart. There is actually quite a mixed message. We are following up and seeking clarification. What they have declared is that they have declared the SOFA, the Status Forces Agreement, to be non-operational. They have assured us that American military forces are protected and they will take no action that would endanger them. So while we work through that with them, we are seeking ways to be able to continue to have access and ability to conduct counter-VEO operations. That said, I will just foot stomp something you mentioned, which is countries that are run by military juntas are not reliable security partners, and part of the value proposition for us having access in Niger would be a return to democratic civilian rule in Niger.
Dr. Wallander made this revelation in the same Senate hearing, in which it was confirmed that the head of the Niger junta, General Abdourahmane Chiani, refused to meet or negotiate with the head of the U.S. Command for Africa, that is Marine Corps General Michael Langley, together with the American delegation that went to Niger on the week the junta cancelled the agreements to try and convince them not to do so.
You went to Niger.
I respect your opinion.
Okay, but General Langley, you went to Niger, and you went to have a meeting with the people we trained who overthrew the democratically elected government, and Fox News is reporting that you didn't even get a meeting with the principal decision maker. Is that right?
I had a meeting with my counterpart.
Well, here's the quote. Sources say last week's meeting with the junta was extremely difficult. The administration's envoys did not get to meet with Niger's principal decision maker. Is that a true statement or is that a false statement?
My responsibility is to meet with my counterpart, not.
I would just hope that if we train the true leaders, we could at
time.
least book a meeting, since it's the model of democracy.
While reacting to these developments, Pentagon Deputy Spokesperson Sabrina Singh revealed in a daily briefing that the U.S. troops had assembled at Agadez Air Base 201, near Niamey, and the only drone flights that they are doing at the moment are those meant to keep them safe and make sure that their base is not ambushed when they're unaware.
Assistant Secretary Wallander said today that the CNSP has not officially asked U.S. military troops to leave. Can you give us a status on the conversations with the junta, and what are troops doing right now? Are they just staying inside the wire?
They're still operating as they were from
July, when the initial coup did happen, we've consolidated our presence from an interagency perspective, from the department and State Department as well. There are ongoing conversations with the CNSP to discuss the path forward.
Sabrina, you mentioned in Niger, the U.S. forces are continuing to do what they were doing. Does that include the drone flights for force protection? Are those continuing out of 201?
Thanks, Eric. So we are continuing to fly ISR for force protection, but it is only for that reason.
Anyway, are you in support of the US military's continued presence in Niger, or would you like the junta to officially request the Americans to leave? Leave your thoughts on this in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe before leaving.